Have you ever laughed at a joke you didn't get, just because everyone else was laughing? Or bought something because it had thousands of five-star reviews? That's social influence quietly steering your choices. In this video, we're breaking down the psychology of social influence in simple terms: what it is, how it works, and how you can use it to make better decisions, reduce stress, improve relationships, and keep your mind sharp. We'll cover conformity, social proof, authority, persuasion techniques, group dynamics, and identity, plus practical tips you can use today. Get ready to see the hidden currents around you and learn to surf them instead of being swept away. 1. What is social influence? Norms in your head. Definition. Concept. Social influence is how other people, real, imagined, or even just implied by social rules, shape what you think, feel, and do. Two big forces drive it: normative influence. You go along to be liked or accepted, and informational influence. You go along because you think others might know something you don't. Real-world example. Your friends are excited about a new sushi place, so you say yes even if you're unsure. Normative. You see a crowded restaurant versus an empty one and assume the crowd knows it's good. Informational. Psychological insight. Your brain is social. Belonging kept our ancestors safe, and learning from others saved time and energy. Neither force is good or bad, they're shortcuts. The real power is in noticing when they're driving your choices, so you can decide with intention. 2. Conformity. Why we nod along. Definition. Concept. Conformity means adjusting your behavior or opinions to match a group. Classic studies, like Solomon Ash's line experiments, showed that people will sometimes agree with a clearly wrong answer if everyone else does. Real-world example. In a meeting, the first few people say, "We should launch next week," and heads start nodding. You had doubts, but you stay quiet because no one else speaks up. On a video call, you keep your camera on because everyone else did, even though you're not required to. Psychological insight. We scan the room for cues. If everyone seems sure, we feel pressure to fit in and avoid standing out. One brave dissenting voice can break the spell and make independent thinking safer. Practical tip. If you lead a group, invite a devil's advocate on purpose. If you're in the group, ask yourself, what's my personal view before I hear others? Jot it down. It protects independent thinking while keeping you connected. 3. Social proof. The crowd as a shortcut. Definition. Concept. Social proof is the idea that when we're unsure, we look to what others are doing as a guide. It's why reviews, likes, and trending labels are so powerful. Real-world example. You pick the restaurant with a line outside. You choose the course with thousands enrolled. You hear a song everywhere and assume it's good. Then you start to like it after repeated exposure. Psychological insight. Social proof is a helpful mental shortcut in uncertainty, but it can create cascades. Everyone follows everyone, so average choices look extraordinary. That's how mediocre ideas sometimes go viral. Practical tip. When social proof pushes you, ask, compared to what? Check base rates or alternatives. Try a clean room choice. If no one were watching, what would I pick? This builds self-awareness and reduces decision stress. 4. Authority and obedience. The power of titles and coats. Definition. Concept. We tend to comply with authority figures, especially when they signal expertise or status. Think uniforms, titles, confident tone. Research on obedience, like Stanley Milgram's work, showed how far people go when an authority tells them to. Real-world example. Your boss says, "Send that email now," though it feels premature. A doctor in a white coat recommends a treatment. You don't ask follow-up questions. A polished influencer says a supplement is doctor-approved, and you feel reassured. Psychological insight. Authority cues reduce uncertainty, but they can also make us hand over our judgment. We shift responsibility to the expert and act faster than we think. Practical tip. Respect expertise, but ask for the why. Try, what outcome are we aiming for? Or, what evidence is this based on? If you're the authority, make your reasoning transparent. It improves trust and helps your team think clearly. 5. Compliance tricks. Foot in the door in the face, and more definition. Concept. Compliance techniques nudge you to say yes. Common ones include foot in the door, start small, then scale up. Door in the face. Start big, get a refusal, then ask for something smaller. Reciprocity. Give something small. People feel compelled to return the favor. Scarcity and urgency. Only 2 left. Offer ends tonight. Commitment and consistency. Once you commit publicly, you want to stay consistent. Liking. We say yes more to people we like or find similar. Real-world example. You sign a tiny petition, small ask, and a week later you're asked to volunteer an hour, bigger ask. Or a fundraiser asks for $200. You decline. Then you agree to $20. Smaller ask feels reasonable. A website gives a free ebook and then pitches a course. Reciprocity. A checkout timer ticks down. Urgency. Psychological insight. These tactics leverage deep tendencies. Our drive to be consistent, reciprocal, and not miss out. They're not evil. They're powerful. Know them so you can use them ethically and spot them in the wild. Practical tip. Name the tactic when you see it. Foot in the door. Then buy time. Let me think about it. If you're persuading for good, like encouraging a healthy habit, pair a tiny first step with encouragement and follow-up. Make it easy and respectful. 6. Groups change us. Bystanders, loafing, and the online mask. Definition, concept. People act differently in groups. 3 patterns. Bystander effect. When others are around, each person feels less responsible to act. Social loafing. In a group task, some people put in less effort than they would alone. De-individuation. Anonymity, like online, can loosen self-control and norms. Real-world example. On a busy street, someone drops their bag. No one helps because everyone assumes someone else will. In a group project, one person carries most of the work. Online, comments get harsher when usernames are hidden. Psychological insight. Responsibility diffuses in groups. Clear norms and identities matter. When we feel personally accountable and know how we do things here, behavior improves. Practical tip. Be the first mover. Point and delegate. You in the blue jacket, can you call 911? On teams, set explicit norms. We turn drafts 24 hours early. Assign names to tasks. Accountability shrinks loafing and reduces stress for the whole group. 7. Identity and in-groups. Who you are shapes what you see. Definition, concept. Social identity theory says we define ourselves partly by our groups, family, team, profession, culture. We favor in-groups, sometimes without noticing, and adopt their norms quickly. Real-world example. At work, the design team loves experimentation. The finance team prizes precision. You shift your language and priorities depending on who you're with. Sports fans defend our team regardless of the play. Online communities can feel like home and like battlefields with outgroups. Psychological insight. Identity filters perception. We notice information that flatters our group and ignore what doesn't. That can create echo chambers, stress in relationships, and missed learning. Practical tip. Name your identities. In this moment, am I speaking as a friend, an employee, or a fan? Then ask, what identity helps best here? Use identity for growth. I'm a learner, frees you to ask questions. I'm a compassionate partner, nudges you to listen before defending. 8. Using influence for good. Design your environment. Definition, concept. Influence isn't just something that happens to you. It's a tool you can design. Shape your environment so the default nudges you toward who you want to be. Real-world example. Want to read more? Join a short daily reading circle, share a one-sentence insight, and put your book where your phone used to be. Want to exercise? Find a buddy and commit to texting a selfie after each workout. At work, celebrate safe behaviors publicly so they become the norm. At home, use descriptive norms. In our family, we say what we're grateful for at dinner, instead of nagging. Psychological insight. Habits are social. When your group identity matches your goal, effort feels lighter. This boosts consistency, reduces decision fatigue, and lowers stress. Surround yourself with the influences that serve your values. Practical tip. Pick one small social lever this week. Accountability. Tell one person your plan and when you'll report back. Environment. Put the cue in your path. Gym shoes by the door. Norms. Say your rule out loud. I don't check email after 7 p.m. Small social shifts, big compounding returns. Social influence is the water we swim in. Conformity. Proof from the crowd. Authority. Clever persuasion. Group dynamics. And identity. None of it makes you weak. It makes you human. When you can see the currents, you can choose when to float, when to paddle with them, and when to swim your own way. Use this knowledge to build self-awareness, reduce stress, improve your relationships, and keep your mind sharp. Influence is always present, so make it your ally. Subscribe for more Psychology Simplified videos where we explain the hidden forces of the mind in simple terms.